Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. Here we will discuss on LeetCode problem number 3484, which is design a spreadsheet. So in this problem we have given a spreadsheet which is a grid like a 2D vector with 26 columns A to Z and a given number of rows. Each spreadsheet cell can hold an integer in between 0 to 10 raised to power 5. We need to implement these following functions in the spreadsheet. So first one is to just initialize the spreadsheet with this number of rows. Second one is to set the corresponding cell, the given cell with this value, right? Third one is to reset this cell with zero value. And the fourth one is we have is get value function. So this get value function, we have input formula here, right, of a string. So this formula string is of the form is equals to x plus y, where x and y both can either be a cell like this a10, b10 or something, or it can be a non-negative integer as well. And we need to return the computed sum, like x ka sum and then y sum, and we need to return that. So let's go to the example to understand it more. So here we have this input. Okay, first one is a spreadsheet only, and here we have the value as 3, which means this spreadsheet has 3 rows. Second one is get value. So we need to return this formula value, which is 5 plus 7. So 5 plus 7 is 12. Third one is set cell. So we need to set A1 cell with 10th. So cell A1 will contain 10 as a value. Okay. Then again we have been asked get value with this formula A1 plus 6. So A1 we just set it with 10. So A1 will replace by 10 and then 10 plus 6 is 16 here. Similarly, all these scenarios like B2 we first set it to 15. Then we have get value A1 plus B2, which is 10 plus 15, 20. Then we have reset cell. So again A1 will set to 0. And then again get value in A1 plus B2. So now A1 is 0. B2 is 15. So 0 plus 15 is 15 here. That's how we solve this problem. Okay. So, first thing is decide which data structure we will use here to store all this cell information. So, you should get an idea on this. Like we have been given cell and then a corresponding value. So it's like a key value pair. And for key value pair, hash map is the best data structure that we can use here, right? So we will declare one unordered hash map which will have a string and integer, right? First one is the constructor, which is giving us the number of rows. We don't need to do anything here as we have the hash map, so it will automatically store the key value pair. So we don't need to know like how many rows are here explicitly. So next we have the set cell. So we will just simply store the cell as a key and with this value that we have given in the input. Now we have the reset cell. So here we will just reset this cell with 0. Now this is the main function which is get value. Now uh, we have been given that this will be in this form is equals to x plus y, and x can either be a cell like this a1 or b2 or something, and it can be integer like 6 or 15. So first we will identify what is the string x and what is the string y. Okay, so we have a string x comma y. Now, to get this value, what we can do, we will first initialize the ith variable. So you see, right? Zero is zero. At zeroth position we have this equals character. So we will just ignore it. So we will start with first position, and then we will loop this formula to get the x value. So we will say while I is less than formula dot size, and how we only want x, so we will loop until we don't receive this plus character. So formula of I is not equals to plus. And what we will do here, oh sorry, we will just push back the formula, push back the ith character in the x string. So x dot push back formula of I. That's it, and we just keep increment it. Okay, so now we get the x value. Similarly, we need to get the y value. So we and now the I is at this plus character. So I will just increment it with 1. So I is equals to I plus 1. And then again the same while loop. And we will loop now until and unless we don't end the string. Right? So while I is less than formula dot size, I will loop it and I will just simply push back in y string. Right? So this is how we will get both x and y string. Now, how we will identify that x is a cell, not an integer, like both x and y are cell or not an integer. So for that, we can check the zeroth character of x. So if x is something like a1, b2, c3, something like that, right? Then the first character will always be in between a to z, right? So, so if x of 0, the first character of 0 is in between a to z, then we can say that this is a cell value. This is this cell position, right? So a1, b2 and something. While x of 0 is less than equals to z, which means if this is between a to z character, so we first initialize two integer, which is a, which gives what value this will hold the integer value. So here if it is a x1 a1, right, then it will return us 10, something like that, right? So we will just initialize with 0 as of now, and then here we will check that if it is in between, if the zeroth position of x is in between a to z, that means we have been asked about the cell value. So we will assign the a is equals to x and p of x, right? Because this is the cell value. Else a will be equals to the integer value of this string. So it's like 15 or 6 or something. So we have this function store which will give us the integer value of this string, right? So we just need to use this. Similarly, we will have the same if else block for y. So if y is greater than equals to a and y is less than equals to z, which means uh, this yth string is the cell value, right? So we will just say b is equals to mp of y. If not, then b is equals to integer value of y, right? And here also we will just simply return a plus b now. Let's go through this function again. First, we want to identify what is x and what is y here. So we started our iteration from first character. Why not 0? Because we know that 0th character has only equal symbol, right? So we started with first character. We loop to this formula string, right? Until and unless we don't find this plus symbol, so that we will get this x string, and we just keep pushing the ith character of the formula string into x. Now we end this loop, we get the x value. Now I is at this position, at plus position, right? So we just increment the I with 1, and then we again loop to the formula string until we don't the formula string is not and then we just keep pushing the formula characters in y string, right? And this way we will get y string value as well. Now, we want to understand what is x and y. If x and y are cell, and how can we identify that, okay, x and y are cell? So you see here, right? If they are cell, then the value would be something like A1, B2, right? C3, something like that. So the zeroth character will always be in between A to Z. So this is the same logic we are using here, that the zeroth character of x is in between A to Z, right? Then ax is a cell and the integer value of that cell will be, we will get it from the map that we have assigned here, right? So A is like the integer value of x, B here is the integer value of y, so A will be NP of x, right? If not, if x is not a cell, that means it is some integer which is in the form of string only. So to get the integer value which is being stored in the form of a string, they can use this C++ store function. So we just need to call this and we just need to pass the value here, string value, and it will return us the corresponding integer value, right? So this is how we will get the A. Similar logic we use to get the B value, right? And then we just simply return here A plus B. Now coming to the time complexities, okay? So we have been given the constraint like row can be in between 1 and 10 raised to power 3 and the value can be in between 1 and 10 raised to power 5. The formula is always is valid, right? And the value will always be less than 10 raised to power 5, which is okay. And at most 10 raised to power 4 calls will be made in total. So if you just so these three functions can be called combinedly at most 10 raised to power 4 times, right? So let's calculate the time complexity of each function, right? So let's suppose n is the number of times a particular a call is made, right? Maximum call is made. M is total calls to above functions. Now, if let's suppose this set value is called m times, then what will be the time complexity here? We are note here we are just assigning the corresponding key and its value in this unordered map. So this is of constant time. So if set cell being called m times, then the time complexity will be only big of m, right? Similarly, the reset call. Here also we are just resetting the corresponding cell to value as 0, as this will also be O of m only if m calls are made to this reset cell, right? Now this get value function. So here, suppose m call is made to this get value function and this formula string, right? It is always in the form x plus y, right? Now remember, so this is of constant, like formula string will be, it's not like this string will be of some 10 raised to power 5 length. Why? Because it is always be in the form of x plus y. Now let's suppose if x is the cell value, right? If x or y is cell, right? Then the maximum length will be equals to of x and y. There are 10 raised to power 3, 1 to 10. So x can first position is the X or Y will contain a character from A to Z, right? And then a digit, which will be from 1 into 10 raised to power 3. So 3 digits, right? Maximum 3 digits. If the row value is less than or equals to 10 raised to power 3, then the maximum digit will be 3 only of row, right? So X or Y, if the X or Y is cell, then it will always be of constant length, which is 4 here, right? Maximum in worst case. Similarly, if X or Y is integer, then the value can be in between 10 raised to power 5 digit, hence max 5 digit value, 5 digit string, right? Why? Because x and y as an integer can hold only up to 10 raised to power 5, right? So here also it is only constant time. So we can say that okay, this formula string will maximum will take, like, let's suppose in worst cases where it is of both x and y is integer and of 5 digit length, then it will be like 12 characters, right? In worst case, why 12? So we have this equals to and then plus as well, so one character, then five characters, then one character, and then five characters, so maximum 12 characters this formula string can hold, right? And here also we are just looping this formula string only, which is of constant length. Only maximum it can have is 12 characters, right? And then here also we are just checking these are all the constant function, that constant time functions we are having, right? It's just a simple logic, if else logic, right? So we can say that okay, these operations are also performed in constant time only, and hence this can also maximum of O of n. This can also take maximum O of m time complexity. So here the total time complexity will be equals to O of m, where m is the total calls to above functions. I hope you get this. Now let's try to run this code. Oh, okay. I forgot to add some title. Let me check the. Okay, it looks good now. Okay, our test cases are accepted. Now let's try to submit this. Hmm. This is also pass, right? So, and space complexity can also be O of m times only. Why? If this calls the set function calls m times, then we will just have we will store the m values here in the unordered map function, and hence the time complexity here is also O of m only, right? Hope you understand this video. Please try to solve this problem by yourself. Video is just for your reference to understand how the things are working here. But you should solve this problem by yourself after understanding each possible scenarios. Um, if you like this video, please do share and subscribe. Okay, yeah. Thank you. See you in the next video.